What's going on, everyone? Kevin Gallagher here in Newport, Rhode Island for the LEA Spring Workshop and Convention. And while I'm very frustrated that it is just gray and rainy and miserable outside because the weather here is normally fantastic, I am very excited for today's guest. So without any more hesitation or gilding the lily, let's go meet him and get into it. All right, so here we are, Rhode Island, Newport, beautiful. With me today, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Bret Samboy, Capstone ISG.
Very cool. That was very direct and to the point. How did you get started in insurance claims?
I think like all of us, I woke up, one morning and said, I want to be an insurance adjuster, right? I bounced around after college, some really terrible sales jobs. I had a friend that worked for Travelers on the catastrophe team, and they needed someone. I interviewed, ended up getting the job, and kind of fell in love with it. Yeah, I've been doing that ever since.
That's awesome. What kind of sales jobs? When you say terrible sales jobs?
First job was Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And then I left them to go to a uniform supply company, which was just terrible.
So I find the files that you and I often work on to be quite large, but then also we'll have an assignment where it's just like maybe a small residential hail inspection. How is it different for a large loss adjuster than it is for your sort of standard residential loss adjusting?
Kind of an interesting question. I think the biggest thing is, the smaller residential adjusters are going to have kind of a territory around where they live, and they're going to turn and burn, right? Like every claim that comes into that territory, they're going to be on the field looking at it. Whereas, with us, the larger loss, complex stuff, we go anywhere. If our client has a claim in California, we're getting on a plane and we're going. And so you're not doing maybe the frequency, but you're at the desk more. You're kind of quarterbacking that claim more. You're getting the experts like you guys, or a building consultant or lawyers. You're kind of quarterbacking that team and handling the file from a desk more than a residential adjuster that's going to be in the field, basically every day looking at stuff. So,
well, I've got a subscriber submitted question.
Oh, here we go.
What is it like to cheat on New York City with Boston? And are you a Red Sox fan now?
I am not a Red Sox fan. I am a Mets fan till the day I die, which is not something that I openly like to admit because it's just a very sad, painful life.
That was Jay Hawkins.
I know that was Jay.
All right, and to change it up a little bit, we are coming in hot with Ask the Asker.
All right, so here's a question for you.
Shoot.
What do you prefer, movies or TV series? Like if you're going to have to dive into one or watch one, what would you prefer to do?
Movies, 100% every single time.
You're a big movie guy?
And I actually just thought about this the other day.
Really?
Because I finished up a TV show, 3 seasons of a TV show, and now that show's done. And I immediately went right back to movies. And I'll rewatch movies over watching an episode of TV. I don't know why I like movies so much more, but especially if it's a cinematic adventure piece, I am all in.
Yeah, I like that.
Good character-driven plot. GQ does the essentials. If you've ever watched one of those videos, they get slightly more views than Coffee with Kev.
Slightly.
We both travel a lot. What are your 3 travel essentials?
Definitely noise-canceling headphones. That's a must. I'm a big Marriott Bonvoy guy.
Same.
So Bonvoy credit card. Third thing would probably be a wireless charger because you always need to keep everything charged when you're on the road, and who knows how long your meetings are going to be and all that. And it's always nice to know that you got some juice.
We have a very interesting, we've already talked a lot about our industry, but we do have a very interesting industry where we have international, national, regional, and local companies that provide services to insurance companies, law firms, but they all provide it slightly different with those kind of different pools of size.
Right.
So first question is 2-part. 1, where does Capstone fit in there? And 2, what do you think the challenges are in creating a brand in this industry with that in mind?
I would say Capstone is national. We might not be as big and prevalent as some of the bigger players, but that's a big reason why I was brought over to grow the brand and get our name out there more.
So you've started the complex claims division?
Yep. We're called Capstone's Complex Loss Group. We're putting ourselves in the same conversation as those heavy hitters like the McLarens, the Engel Martins, Crawford GTS. We want Capstone to be right there in that conversation with, with those other players. So that's the goal. It's tough, especially like I said. I mean, these heavy hitters have been, in the industry. I've worked for, McLarens and Crawford as well. They're widely known. And this, like I said, this industry is, as we said, relationship driven. So, a lot of these clients, carriers, brokers have, relationships with these bigger carriers. So it's going to be tough to get us in there, but like everything, it's going to take some time. And with the resources that we have, I have, that my connections have, we're going to get there. And
Have you ever watched a movie like, for example, Star Wars, where the Death Star explodes, not once but twice? And all I think about in those moments is, does the Death Star Corporation get hit with liability claims? Have you ever watched a movie and thought about the insurance claims impact while you're watching the movie, or is that just something my sick mind does?
No, I mean, I think it's natural for us to think that. I mean, the one that immediately comes to mind would be Die Hard and the whole Die Hard franchise. I mean,
Die Hard franchise.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking
airport.
You got airliners, you got building, you got liability, then you got cyber, you got terrorism. I mean, you got municipalities. I mean, can you imagine trying to subrogate against John McClane? Yeah, good luck with that.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
I've had the joy of working through at least 4 cats. And I thought Hurricane Sandy was the worst, and then I got to go down to Ian last year. You don't know what a cat looks like until you see boats on stilts in the middle of the highway, because that's how far they got washed inland. What is one of the worst cats you've seen in your time in claims?
Probably the Joplin tornadoes. That was pretty bad. I mean, I remember being in this insured's backyard, and they had a street sign in their backyard, and they didn't recognize it. We Googled it, and it was from several miles away.
No.
Yeah. So that was bad. I mean, obviously, like, Ian, Sandy, they're all bad in their ways. But the Joplin one, I just remember kind of being and I was really new to the industry then, and just driving into Joplin and just feeling this despair. Like, it was just, everything was just gone. I mean, So that was probably the worst one that I've seen.
Did you know, fun fact, that after Hurricane Sandy, a realtor, there's this really popular realtor in Central Jersey, one of her signs washed up on shore in Paris.
Stop, really?
I'm not lying. Yeah, after Hurricane Sandy, it actually got washed all the way out, floated all the way to Paris. If you could choose one song to be your entrance music walking into every room, what song would it be?
Oh, man. Heat of the Moment by Asia. Big Asia guy.
Heat of the moment.
Runner-up would probably be Day of the Eagle by Robin Trower.
I don't even know that song. I'm going to listen to it as soon as we're done this, I'll tell you that much.
I feel like it also changes, depending on the mood and what I'm walking into, what room I'm walking into.
What you're wearing.
Yeah. I mean, it's similar, like, I played baseball my whole life, so, what's your walk-up song? I'm like, well, it depends. Am I coming up in the bottom of the ninth with the bases loaded, down by 3, or is this, first inning, no score?
Do you need the eye of the tiger walking you in as you're coming in to really get the crowd going?
Or do I need something kind of goofy to, shake off some rust or, whatever, get the crowd into it? It depends on the situation. But.
How do people in claims utilize metrics to help make decisions and direction?
Well, I think the first thing I'll say is, at least at Capstone, part of what really attracted me to Capstone was the metrics that we use for our adjusters and the standards that we have in claim handling. So our clients know going in that our adjusters are held to a very high standard, and these metrics are looked at all of the time and measured and made sure that we're hitting those numbers. The second one is going to be how we grow this complex loss group and kind of see, like, okay, where are the claims coming in? Who do we have there? Do we need more? Like, let's look at the data. We'll see what size average claims we're getting. Are the adjusters that we already have on staff, are they capable of handling this workload, or do we need to staff more, and where? And kind of, it's that interesting process of we want to grow, but we need to have the staff, but we in order to have the staff, we need to have the work, and it's that balance. And
If you could have a superpower specific to helping you get your job done, what would it be?
I mean, I think there'd be a few. The first one that comes to my mind would be teleporting, because if I could get out to a lost site in 5 seconds.
It's a good one. We're actually coming in for a landing here. We got the last question, and normally on the last question, I want to leave everybody with a nice little inspirational nugget. But today, I want to give you the challenge of telling me what was the worst bit of advice that you've ever been given. That is a question I've always wanted to ask people, but it stumps them usually. So I'm curious to see if you have an answer.
For me and my wife, I'm going to say thank God we didn't follow it. But it was our whole lives people telling us to have kids.
Oh,
So,
gosh.
no offense to my friends and colleagues that have children, yourself included.
I had enough for you.
Yeah, it's just not something that we ever wanted to do, and we were, I don't want to say pressured, but all through our 20s and 30s, it's you gotta have kids. When are you having kids? You gotta have kids. Our life's pretty good right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's good. That's a good answer.
thanks.
You know why? Because it's real.
Yeah.
If nothing else, that is the realest answer you're going to get. So 30 seconds. This is going to be a new thing we're going to start doing at the end of all these Coffee with Kevs. 30 seconds. Say whatever you want to the people.
Yeah, so I'll just put it out there. Anyone who wants to get more information on the Capstone's Complex Loss Group, or give us a shot, go to www.capstoneisg.com, or you can reach out to me directly. My first initial and last name, bsamboy at capstoneisg.com. Would love to have a conversation, send you some more information on it, and talk about your needs, and love to get a chance to show you what we can do.
My man, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a blast.
Yeah, this was great, man.
And we'll see you next time.
All right.